much beyond what our senses can access, much beyond what our minds can access and comprehend and analyze. It's a fact. The universe is very vast. And how much can we travel? The best of the means that we have devised so far can't even take us beyond a few planets. What to speak of the very distant planets or beyond the solar system and beyond the Milky Way of our solar system. All that remains in the domain of speculation. What is the edge of the universe if we were to travel? Will we come to the edge? And what is the edge like? If that is the edge of the universe, or the end of the universe, or the boundary of the universe, what is beyond the edge of the universe? It's a completely indescribable, simply subject to a certain speculations. Because we know the fastest way in which something can travel is the speed of light. And according to science, speed of light puts a limit to the speed of movement of physical objects. If an object moves higher than the speed of light, its mass becomes infinite. And if there is a mass which is infinite, you need infinite energy to move it. And there is no such thing as infinite energy that science can conceive of. And hence it is considered as a limit. So, even if you take signals coming from distant planets, how long it has taken to reach us? Some signals reach us after about 40,000 years. How many generations of people would have passed by then? So, in other words, we must understand that we are small, our access to knowledge is limited, and these limitations are real limitations for us to know more or beyond, or even within this world, what to speak of something beyond this world. So truly thoughtful persons, if we know that we are here and there's something out beyond we don't even know, it should actually unsettle us. Suppose you take a house and the landlord shows you, this is the house. And then he says, there is one door, I have locked it up. And the landlord says, I have something in it. I can't tell you what it is. I mean, what is it? He says, I won't tell you. I won't tell you and I can't tell you. and he goes away. We will always be curious about the door, no? Try to open it. Can I see or hear something? Because we don't like something unknown around us. It creates a little bit of a discomfort and fear for us. We don't know, something will suddenly, suppose the door opens and someone comes out. I experienced that once. I was staying in some hotel room, and I made sure in the night, you make sure, right? You lock and double lock and make sure everything. And I came back and I was sleeping, and suddenly that after a few minutes or hours, I woke up and I saw that bolt slowly opening. You see how you feel? My God. And slowly the door opened. It was by mistake another person. Somehow their door opened, this door opened. And they said, I'm sorry. And they stepped out. So how you feel? Something unknown, someone unknown. So truly, if you think about the dimensions of the universe and the reality around us, we don't even know what is going on. Okay, this is as far as the space dimensions are concerned. Let's look at time dimension. We are here for some time, and we all know after some time we won't be here. We have seen that happening all around us, our neighbors, our friends, our grandparents. And in the newspapers we read, like we read yesterday, an eminent person in our country passed away. He did big things in his life. And suddenly we are told, he's no more there. Where did he go? He was full of energy. He was full of plans. He had big empire to control. Suddenly he's not there. There were people who were closely relating with him. He's no more accessible to them. And same thing is going to happen to us. We become inaccessible to all our acquaintances. So what will happen to us? We don't know, normally speaking, right? Unless we take knowledge from the Shastra. We don't know what is going to happen. So, there are things in this world which we cannot know by our own sense experience and mental and intellectual analysis. And hence, we must become humble and we must approach the spiritual master. We must approach the Shastra to receive knowledge. Once Prabhupada was telling about importance of Guru and we must surrender to the Guru. And one devotee asked a question to Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada, you are saying that the spiritual master is so important. We must surrender to him, we must please him, we must serve him. Then Krishna will be pleased. How is that in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's composition of Shikshashtakam? He didn't mention anything about Guru. Cheto darpanam arjanam, no mention of Guru. Nam akari bahuda, no mention of Guru. Trinadapi sunichena, nadhanam najanam, no mention of Guru. Ainanda tanuja, no mention of Guru. Already it's gone to Krishna. Nayanam galadashrudharaya, no mention of Guru. Yugaitam nimishena, Ashlishyava. So Srila Prabhupada's reply was, Trinadapi sunichena tarorapi sahishtuna. Don't you see that? You have to become humble. If you become humble, you understand that you cannot get all the knowledge by yourself. You must approach a spiritual master and the Shastra to know more knowledge. Without humility, you cannot approach. So, actually, it requires that humility. That, yes, I don't know, I can't know. What is the alternative? Yes, there are other sources of knowledge from the scriptures, from the acharyas. Let us examine. At least that much humility a person should have. So, here from the Shastras, from the Bhagavatam, we understand about this universe. Sayeva purushas tasmat andam nirbidhya nirgataha. Lord Mahavishnu, although lying in the causal ocean, which was described in the previous verses, came out of it, nirgataha, and dividing himself, nirbidhya, as Hiranyagarbha, he entered into each universe and assumed the Virat Rupa with thousands of legs, arms, mouths, heads, etc. Yasya iha avayavaihi lokan. Lokan avayavaihi. Avayava means the limbs, the parts of the body. Iha, this world. Kalpayanti manishinaha. Manishinaha, thoughtful people, philosophers, speculators, somebody who uses his mind. Manishinaha. Kalpayanti, imagine, conceptualize this Virat Rupa. Katyadibihi adaha saptaha. Kati is waist, adibihi adaha sapta. Below adaha. Sapta urdhvam, and above urdhvam jagani. Jagana is also waist. Jaganadibihi sapta urdhvam. There are 7 planetary systems above the waist and 7 planetary systems below the waist of the universal form. And this is the conception. This is how Manishinaha, speculators, great philosophers, imagine or conceptualize the Virat Rupa. The great philosophers imagine that the complete planetary systems in the universe are displays of the different upper and lower limbs of the universal body of the Lord. So, this kind of a conception, an imagination, a kalpana, kalpayanti comes from the word kalpana, is described in the Vedic literatures. So the Virat Rupa is to convey the vastness, the abundance of material energy, and the unlimited power and manifestation that exists, and all of that is an energy of the Lord, is coming from the Lord, and the Lord is aware of it and is in control of it. That's what very nicely Prabhupada conveys. The idea impressed herein is that the Supreme Lord is conscious of every part of his body. Just like suppose we are sitting and suppose one mosquito is biting, I will immediately do that, no? Or some fly comes, hey, see, I am conscious of my body from head to toe. And anything, any discomfort, something is happening, I can immediately attend to it. So there is a person who is conscious of the entire universe. So this kind of an explanation is necessary for us, otherwise we can't imagine. We understand, we are conscious of our body, but there is someone who is conscious of everything in the universe, what is happening, and everything. He is conscious and he is in control of it. Just like we are conscious and we are also in control. To some extent, not everything. Suppose something goes wrong, like beyond a certain point, we cannot repair it, we have to live with it, and so on. But a sense of an idea that how there is a universal form, and that is why it is called a conception, kalpana. It's a kalpana, kalpayanti, manishinaha kalpayanti. It's a conception of the great philosophers to imagine the universe to be the Virat Rupa of the Lord. And that Virat Rupa of the Lord, of that Lord who is infinitely powerful and is conscious and is in control of everything in the universe, assumed the form of a small boy and appeared here in Vrindavan. This is very, very astonishing, isn't it? That's why Prabhupada writes in the purport, the Virat universal form of the Absolute is an imagination of the speculative philosophers who are unable to adjust to the eternal two-handed form of Lord Sri Krishna. Ultimately, that Supreme Lord is a two-handed, young, 16-year-old boy, blue in color, has a peacock feather and has a flute in his hand, and he has his close associates and he performs leelas with them. He simply sports and enjoys with them. That's the absolute truth. That's the truth, that's the reality. And there is nothing besides him, that reality. It's difficult to imagine, isn't it? Why it is so difficult? That is why in the Bhagavatam, the Brahma Vimohana Leela is there. Even Lord Brahma, who had gone to Shvetadvipa and prayed to Vishnu, Vishnu, the demoniac influences are increasing. Please come and appear. And Vishnu communicated to him, said, yes, I will come. You may all take different forms and I will appear. And you may assist me. You may serve me in different capacities. Lord had told him, and he came here. But when he came as a cowherd boy, even Brahma got. I had asked for Vishnu to come, but I'm hearing that there is a small boy has come, and he lives in Vrindavan, and he is playing around, and all people are, so mad after him. Everyone is so attracted to him. They're adoring him. They're worshipping him. What's wrong? Let me go and see. Oh, he's playing with the boys and cows and calves. Looks very simple. Okay, let's see. If he goes away a little bit, I'll take away all the boys and the cows and the calves and let's see what he will do. And that's what Brahma did. He hid them. And Krishna came and saw. His boys, his friends, cows, they've all vanished. And he knew this is Brahma who's doing it. He said, all right. And he expanded himself into as many cows, calves, cowherd boys. And Brahma had concealed them. And so he thought that, okay, now let's see what this small boy is going to do. After all, he's a small boy. And he comes back and he sees undisturbed. The Leela is still going on. What happened? I locked them up and they seem to have escaped. He went back and saw, no, they're all still safe. They're all asleep. He put them into a kind of a slumber, mystic sleep, and they are still under his full influence and they are asleep. Comes and sees everything is going on as it is. He's bewildered. And at that time, Krishna displays who all those cowherd boys are, transform them into 400 Vishnu forms. Oh, he's the same whom I had gone and requested to appear. But now he has appeared as a cowherd boy, not displaying his powers, but he is displaying his intimacy. He is displaying his loveliness. So these are all very, very advanced topics of theology, an understanding of the truth. So in other words, the way the Bhagavatam presents all this is very, very beautiful. See, there is one truth, there is one reality. There's only one reality. Eko advitiya nasti. There's only one reality. So, we experience a certain reality around us. We are real because we are thinking, we are feeling, we are talking, we are sitting here. Is this also some unreality? No, this is reality. You can pinch yourself. I am existing. I am real. Others are also existing. I can talk to them. I can interact. Yet this is a reality, but after some time something will happen. I won't be here to talk to anybody, or others won't be there to talk to me. Some others. Something goes on. Some magic happens. Some inexplicable thing happens. And that's also part of reality. It's also part of our experience. So what's all this about? So if there is one reality, now I am seeing all of you, all of us are individuals and we can talk and exchange and we all have individuality. And each one is different. Even if there are brothers, sisters, they are very different from each other. Even if there are twins, they are very different from each other. So, how do we explain all this? That's why Chandogya Upanishad says, Ekoham bahusyamaha. There is only one reality. There is only one reality. And that one reality, for his pleasure. Now we are using he, his. So I have ascribed a masculine gender for him, for that reality. And I have ascribed a personality to that reality. Yes, that ultimate reality is a person. And he's masculine because you're all, male-dominated society. So you've ascribed him a masculinity. No. We have not done any such thing. We are taking all this information from the Shastra. We are not speculating. So that one absolute truth is called the absolute truth, one reality alone exists, and that reality is a person. And the person has attributes, and those attributes are non-different from him, because there is only one truth. There is no two. Advitiyam nasti. Ekam Brahmam Advitiyam nasti. There is only one truth, one Brahman. supreme truth. There is no second. And so he has some attributes. So he and his attributes, no, they are advayam, they are non-different. And he is a personality. Oh, personality means some thinking, desiring, feeling exists. Personality, very fundamental characteristic of a personality is that person seeks pleasure. Just like we all. Constantly we seek pleasure. If there is some displeasure, we try to run away from it and try to adjust things to bring pleasure to us. That's a feature of a personality. And this absolute truth is a person. This ultimate reality is a person. And so he, for his pleasure, he decided to become many. Ekoham bahusyama. He decided to become many. So when he expands himself to become many, and those many are him only. So in his expansions, there are categories of expansions. See, this is detailed knowledge. This detailed knowledge is there in the Vedic literatures. He expands himself into multiple categories. One category of his expansion is they are equal to him in all respects. They are called plenary portions, swamsha. They are amsha, they are swamsha. They are his own amsha, equal to him. That's why they are called swamsha. And there is another category of expansion. In that expansion, he is not equal in that expansion. He has diminished his potencies. And they are called vibhinna amsha. Bhinna amsha. And there is a vibhinnatha. There is a differentiation. And we all belong to that category. Vibhinna amsha. So, Bhinna, Swamsha and Vibhinnamsha, all are meant to give him pleasure, because that's the reason why he Ekoham Bhausyamaha happened. See? And so, have to give him pleasure, and he's a person, and in his expansion, the expansion also he infused personalities. He can do everything. There's nothing limiting him. We have some capacity to do, isn't it? We can make roti. We can make dal. See, we also have some capacity to make. So that absolute truth has unlimited capacity to make anything he wishes. We have some capacity, he has unlimited capacity. So he became many, and he expanded himself into categories of expansion, and those expansions were meant to please him, and so he gave them freedom, a free will to his vibhinnamsha, because that's another feature which enables loving relation. This is the nature of love, this is the nature of pleasure, this is the nature of the dynamism of love. And so he gave that free will to his Vibhinnamsha expansions. Now, if there is free will, then there must be alternative to exercise. Suppose you go to a restaurant for early morning for a breakfast, and then you ask the waiter, what do you have for breakfast? And he says, sir, we have idli and sambar, and you can choose what you want. Hey, you are saying only idli you have, and you are saying I should choose. At least you must have two things, no? You must say idli, dosa, paratha, then I can choose. You are saying, oh, eki hai sir, only idli is there and you can choose. How can I choose if I have only one? You must at least offer two things. So, if there is free will to choose One choice is to serve the Lord lovingly. There should be at least another choice. Yes, you can forget the Lord. And so because the choice exists, idli is there, paratha is there. Some people will choose idli, some people will choose paratha. Choice is there and options are there. So, some living entities will choose not to serve the Lord. And the Lord has to make an arrangement for that. So the Lord expands again into another energy called Bhinna Prakriti, where He is not personally present, but it is His energy, His separated energy. And with that Bhinna Prakriti, He fashions a world. And that's what this world is. And we are those who misuse that freedom and exercise not to be serving the Lord. And so we are here. We are in this Prakriti, Bhinna Prakriti. And in the Bhinna Prakriti, He has created a platform for our activity. Now if you think that, I don't want to surrender to the Lord, I want to be independent of the Lord. That's the desire. I don't want to be independent. I don't want to depend on the Lord. But that's not possible. Can the sunshine ever say, I'm going to divorce myself from this sun? The sunshine cannot say. Sunshine is integral to the sun. It has come from the sun. It is part of the sun. In the same way, that's our position, that's our constitution. You see all these, how nicely Prabhupada has taught us. Swarupa. This is our makeup. But we are desiring something that is contrary to our makeup. If the sunshine desires that I should be independent of the sun, can sunshine ever be independent of the sun? Your heat, your light, everything is coming from the sun and you are desiring, I want to be independent of the sun. It's not possible. But the living entities who have Vibhinnamsha of the Lord are desiring. And hence, an illusion is created. And in that illusion, we think that we are independent of the Lord. We are here in this world. I have my own activities, I have my own relations, I have my own interactions with others, independent of the Lord. Simply not possible. And to shake us out of the illusion, now and then, suddenly He brings an end to the illusion so that we can wake up from that. He has created a cyclic world where we have an existence of that illusion, suddenly the illusion ends, and once again we are put into another situation of illusion, again we are taken out of that illusion. This Vyakto Vyaktat Sanatana, He has made an arrangement for this to go on eternally. And Lord is not very happy that this is going to go on like this. He appears Himself as an incarnation. He appears, He sends His devotees, His acharyas. He sends Shastra to tell us about all this. I mean, this is such a fantastic explanation, isn't it? Nobody could ever give this explanation other than Shastras, as explained by our acharyas, as explained by our Guru Prabhupada. So, this is what is happening. Entirely it is under Lord's control. The entire universe, it's not out of His control. And all these living entities who turned away from Him, they are in different parts of the universe. They are going through different kinds of experiences in illusion. There are devatas They are also in one kind of illusion. There are lower planetary systems and less privileged living entities. They are in another kind of illusion. Everybody is in an illusion. Muhyanti yat surayaha. And he is in full control. He is in full control directly and indirectly. Janmadhyasya yataha, that from which all of this universe has come, that which maintains this universe, that into which all of the universe finally goes back and rests, is the truth. And there's only one truth. So in that sense, we are also that same part of the truth. We are also one with him. We can say that also. We are all one with the Lord, qualitatively. But by his will, he has willed us to be individuals, although we are one with him qualitatively. So this careful understanding, which is presented in the Shastra, to help us understand what is going on around us, has to be carefully understood by hearing from a guru, from an acharya, from the Shastra, and by our own self-efforts. We cannot know this truth. That is why this knowledge is praptha. Evam parampara praptam. Imam rajarshayo viduhu. This knowledge is received. It is not manufactured. Modern times, the knowledge that we have, that we get in science, all this knowledge, it's manufactured by individuals. They were very brilliant people. They manufactured some knowledge. And they are thinking we will continue to manufacture more and more knowledge, and in this way expand the horizons of knowledge. That's their approach. But we realize that our senses are limited, our intellectual prowess is limited, our cognitive powers are limited, just like we see limitation of cognitive powers in this world. There are some people who cannot solve a complex problem. There are some who can solve. You can see there is difference. There are differences in cognitive powers. And between species, very clearly you see difference in cognitive powers. We can understand so many things in this world. You take a dog and try to explain to him some material concept of economics or political theory or some scientific, what is gravity? Try to explain gravity to a dog. He cannot understand. His cognitive powers don't allow him to comprehend that. So we see there is gradation in cognitive powers. So it's too preposterous to think that my cognitive powers has reached the pinnacle. Now you see how we have to be humble. Trunadapi sunichena tarorapi sahishnuna. We have to be humble. That I cannot understand everything. I must approach alternate sources of knowledge other than my self-manufacturing or collectively manufacturing or cumulatively manufacturing method of acquiring knowledge. And that is the Shastra. So I think there can't be any better, more lucid, more clear explanation than what Srila Prabhupada has provided us. That's why this knowledge is now reached an articulation which is meant for global dispensation, so that it can benefit everyone in the world who wishes to understand this. Living entities are there in everywhere. Once Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur is said to have said, he looked at the moon and said, "Oh, so much preaching we have to do. We have to preach there also." See? This knowledge has to go to every part of the universe, because every part of the universe should know there is one reality, one truth, Sri Krishna. We'll stop here. Any questions? Anybody else? Yes.
Hare Krishna, bro. Bro, I have two questions, bro. First one is like, when demigods appear to help Lord in his Leela, do they have to give up their original position there? It means they have to leave the body and come here and take birth to help the Lord? Or how to understand this?
If Lord wills and He wants somebody to play a certain role, Lord can empower them, such devatas, to continue their role as devatas, maintaining the universe, and at the same time participate in the Leela of the Lord. If the Lord wishes, He can manifest, He can do such things. Just like even in this material world, in organizations, people do that. You are sitting here, your services in Bangalore are still going on, no? If you can do, why not devatas? So it's possible. It's possible. Lord can make another arrangement. He can put someone else. Just like in the material world, in organizations, we see such things happening. Yeah.
Second one, bro. Bro, if you see the cosmos, the material world, we have innumerable stars, planets. Earth is very insignificant in that. Now, when Lord comes himself as a personality of Godhead, that means, is there any speciality about this earthly planet? The Lord appears himself personally in one day of Brahma to perform his leelas in this planet, Bhuloka.
Yeah. Although in the creation, it's very nice. This verse that Rupa Goswami composed, Anarpita charim chirat karunayavatir nakkalo. In the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami includes this in the very early part of the Chaitanya, for Adi Leela, first chapter. And then he says, now I will explain I think the fourth chapter, called third or fourth chapter, external reasons for the appearance of the Lord. Right? Bahiranga Karana, for the Lord to appear as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And then Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says, now I'll explain this verse. And the entire chapter, external reasons for the Lord's appearance, is an expansion of Anarpita charim chirat karunayavathirna kalo verse. Now, for a long time, the Lord had not blessed Anarpita charim chirat. Chirat means for a long time. Charim means formerly. Anarpita. For a long time, this was not offered formerly. So, what is it that the Lord had not offered? And why is it said that for a long time? Chirat Anarpita. So, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami explains that how Kali Yuga means so many years, Dwapar Yuga means so many years, Treta Yuga means so many years, Satya Yuga means so many years, and all of these four yugas put together is called Mahayuga. And there are 74 Mahayugas and one Manvantara oversees that. One Manu oversees that. Like that, there are 14 Manus in the day of Brahma. And So in the day of Brahma, there are 14 Manus, and each Manu 74 Mahayugas. And so in a day of Brahma, there are about 1,000 Yuga cycles. And so there are 1,000 Kali Yugas, 1,000 Dwapar Yugas. In a day of Brahma, there are 1,000 Dwapar Yugas. And Krishna comes not in every Dwapar Yuga. Only in the 7th Manvantara, in the 24th Manu, in the 7th Manvantara, 28th cycle, in the 28th cycle, in the 28th Mahayuga, in that Dwapar Yuga, Krishna comes. And soon after Krishna's coming and disappearance, the Kali Yuga immediately following that, in that, once again Krishna comes as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. People didn't understand what I was trying to tell them. Again, let me go and tell them. You see how it is anarpita charim chirat. Why did I bring this up? What was your question?
Why Krishna comes personally to this planet?
Okay. Oh, why Krishna comes personally? Why this earth is
planet.
special? Okay. Now you see how earth is so special. Out of thousands of Mahayugas, and that in one of those Dwapar Yugas, Krishna appears as it is. Mostly his expansions and his avatars conduct all the affairs of the material world. He's not bothered by that. Balaram, his expansions and all the incarnations coming from Balaram and Mahavishnu expansions of the Lord, they take care of the material world. Just like it's not how many times the Prime Minister of our country has gone to the prison. Nearly 12 years or so he is in the government, right? We never heard he went to a prison at all. Prison is running. His other empowered personalities, they run that. How many chief ministers go to the prison? Hardly. And they don't even go. There are empowered persons. They are running the prison department. So prison, why? They are all lawbreakers, criminals. There are so many law-abiding citizens. I must have programs for them. I have to create schemes for them. I have to create policies for them. That's what the Prime Minister and the Chief Ministers are busy doing. In the same way, the material world is like a prison of those living entities who rebelled against the Lord and came away here. But still, once in a day of Brahma, he himself comes. See how rare it is, how rare and how special earth is, how special Bharatvarsha is, and how special Vrindavan Dham is. So, like this, you must read that chapter of the Chaitanya Charitamrita, how word by word, anarpita charim chirat karunayavatirna kalo, how nicely, how beautifully Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami expands on that. And explains this is the Bahiranga Karana of the Lord's appearance. So, like this. We'll stop here. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Shri Radha Vrindavan Chandra ki, Shri Vrindavan Dham ki, Shri Nitai Gauranga Mahaprabhu ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Nitai Go Premanande.